Welcome to Own It, Your Business and Your Life, with Nicola Cairncross and Judith Morgan. In this podcast, we're going to cover everything you need to embrace to become a successful entrepreneur, marketing, money, and much, much more. How to create a business doing just what you love. How to own it, your business and your life. This one will be fast, funny, feisty, and very lively. So sit back and enjoy the show. So let's crack on then, Judith. How are you?
I'm very good, Nicola. How are you?
I'm very well, thank you, except we've got a chainsaw in the background. You probably can't hear it.
I've got quite a lot of noises in my end this week as well.
Seems to be the accessory du jour around here, yes. Chainsaw. They know how to use them as well.
Well, that's good.
My Snapchat this morning is full of a plethora of all the youngsters. I don't know what to call them now. They're all about 19 to 21, all cooking up healthy meals and very diligently freezing them for their lunches and future dinners. It's not very rock and roll, I told them.
I wonder how long that will last.
Yeah, good point. I think they're all trying to get beach fit for summer, you know what I'm saying?
Yes, I do. I do. Actually, one of my nephews taught me, no carbs before marbs.
No carbs before marbs, very good.
Yeah.
Oh dear. Shall I carry on my week, or you can tell
Yes, no, you carry on.
Okay, well, it's been obviously the worst year is now behind me. I felt quite a lot of tension in the last sort of 12 hours leading up to the point where it all happened last year. But I feel much, much better now, and I'm generally feeling much better. So the only way is up, I've decided. And the other thing is I've had 2 webinars in the last week, and the one of them, the Be Everywhere Online webinar, is now on autopilot. And I'm paying £38 to get a sale, which makes me £94. So
that's good.
I know.
Yeah.
So I'm very pleased with that. So I spent a couple of hours last night editing the live stream from the Facebook ads video, because I realised there was quite a bit of dropping out. Luckily, when it drops out on my internet, it seems to just delay it. So as long as you chop out the gaps, you don't miss too much of the words, which is quite good. Okay. But I got to the end of 2 hours work, and then Camtasia crashed and I lost the lot.
Oh.
I know, so I've got to do it all again today.
Oh. But that's testing, isn't it?
It is a little bit, yes. It was my stupid fault. I usually, when I'm doing the podcast, I always save it as the next episode. And if I had saved it as anything, apparently it would have recovered it. But because I didn't save it as anything before I started, it couldn't recover it. So there's a little bit of advice for Camtasia.
Oh, yeah. That's a good tip, isn't it?
Yeah, absolutely. What about your week?
Well, mine's a weather report. Spring is sprung in the UK. Spring is sprung, the grass is riz. Do you know that poem?
No.
Spring is sprung, the grass is riz, I wonder where the birdies is. The little birds is on the wing, ain't that absurd? The wing is on the bird, something like that.
Oh,
and it's car washing weather. There's blossom on the trees, the windows are open, laundry's on the washing line. It's the sort of light that makes you want to clean the windows and clean the car. Do you know what I mean?
Yes. I had a complainant on one of my webinars this week that said the birds were so loud he couldn't hear me speaking.
Well, I mean, that's churlish to complain about birdsong. I now think, and this is a weird thing, and if you'd caught me saying this about 40 years ago, I would have denied it, but I now think that birdsong is one of the nicest sounds that exists on planet Earth.
Absolutely right, yeah. As with apple blossom and almond blossom.
Yeah. I think I have May. I'm not sure what I've got. I'm not very, I don't know what the word is. Not very botanical.
Botanical? You haven't got green fingers, love?
Well, I think I probably have got green fingers, but I don't know the names for all of the trees and plants and things.
Yeah, you don't choose to exercise them.
I don't know what sort of blossom I've got. It certainly isn't almond. I can tell you that.
It could be apple. Could be apple. Yeah.
No, I'm not convinced. I'm looking at a tree, but I don't think it's apple either, because I think I would know that. But anyway, spring is sprung in England, and in 4 hours of the last 5 days, it's been, windows and doors open weather.
Nice. Paddling again yesterday.
Well, it is only mid-March, which is why we mustn't get overexcited about this. But it's in England. We just grab it when it comes, as you know.
Absolutely. I once spent a very, 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 very cold Easter in Torquay at a wedding where I'd been seduced by the early March, warmth.
Yes.
Thinking that it was going to be lovely and warm because it was sunny.
Yes.
We got down there and it was a very luxury B&B, but her boiler had broken, so there was no hot water and no central heating.
Oh.
We spent any time we weren't actually at the wedding huddled under duvets.
As the second time I've heard, it's only 9 o'clock in the UK. It's the second time I've heard a story this morning involving such coldness I couldn't bear to think about it.
Yeah. But that's it really. That's all I've got for you on my week. Shall we move on to Fueled Your...
Yes. Will you go first?
I've been creating the content for my Be Everywhere online course because I had the Facebook ads course content created, but before I sold this one, I planned it all out, but I didn't actually create it. And it's nice because, it's a 6-week course, so I have a whole week to create the content. And I'm reminding myself how much I know and how much I enjoy creating tuition courses. It's just amazing. And also the other thing that is, I'm teaching myself things as I go, but it's astonishing how much content audio and video creates. I did a 30-minute, I've got a tip for you in the Who or What's Impressed, but I did 30 minutes manual transcription the other day, just because I wanted it the same day and I didn't think it would come back. As it turned out, Rev got it back in 5 hours. That was a bit annoying. But 30 minutes of edited talking turned into 4,872 words. So I thought, blimey, that's if I did 10 of those, that's 5 hours. 5 hours in total. It would be a 45,000 word book. And I just thought how efficient that was.
Yes.
You've gone all quiet on me.
Well, yes. I mean, it doesn't necessarily translate into good words or a good book, but numerically it works.
I knew you were going to say that.
Yes. Numeric, I'm admiring of your maths, but that's all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, my maths is usually a little shaky. James Schramko's writing a book, dictating a book, and I think that's what a lot of people are doing now. Is they plan out the content, they talk, they record it, they get it transcribed, and then they send it off to a proper editor who turns it into something readable. That's the way forward, I think.
Yeah, I think it might need that. Yeah.
Absolutely. What about your fire?
Well, I've got two things, actually. I had a new client by referral. And you remember we were quite obsessed about referral marketing on the podcast for a number of weeks. Do you remember?
Yes, I do.
And not only did this come by referral, but the money dropped into my inbox without the woman even having a consultation with me. And she paid for a year in advance. So
nice.
That was quite nice. Yes, and it was one of those sort of in and out moments where I was just writing an email to a friend to say I was a bit nervous about something, and the universe sent me a nice abundant sign in the middle of it all, which was quite good fun.
Yeah.
But, it just means that there are people about in the world who are not skint and scarce and who don't labour over every decision that we worry that clients do sometimes, if that makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And it also shows that your marketing's working because it's a high level of trust, isn't it, just to pay someone off the back like that for a whole year?
Well, I think it was the strength of the referral, and that was somebody I had worked with for a long time. And I think that's the point of referral, or one of the major points of referral marketing. Anyway, my second one is I had some extremely nice feedback after last week's newsletter. And of course, that's all a writer wants, to be honest. If all I did, and I don't rule this out, was just write and have people enjoy it, that would make me very happy. And one of them was a reader who does embroidery and sent me in a photograph of something, not some of my words that she'd embroidered, but some of the words that I'd used that coincidentally she'd embroidered, and that was quite good fun. And then a dialogue with a lady who's never been a client but Googled a funny selection of words once, and we just have a dialogue by email. That's all we do. And then Sarah, who is a client who I met via the podcast, who is plentiful, plentiful with her positive feedback. Sarah gives the best testimonials that I've ever received. Not the best testimonials, but the largest quantity of testimonials. She's fulsome and free with her testimonials.
Yeah, that's nice.
And actually, she sent back a message that said, "That's why you are my coach, because of your certainty and wisdom, and I love to hear you do that on the podcast." So I'm well stroked, and I've got fresh meat in my inbox.
Very nice indeed. Would you like to hear about 18 proven ways to enjoy a successful location-independent business and the freedom to live wherever you like? Own It The Summit is a pack of 18 dynamite interview recordings with globally successful entrepreneurs, sharing their secrets of the real laptop lifestyle. We handpicked each of these people to interview to show you how to set yourself free to design your ideal lifestyle, whether working from home or travelling the world, while running a successful virtual business that you absolutely love. Just visit ownitthesummit.com and get your hands on these life-changing recordings today. Okay, so we're rather swiftly on to Client Challenge of the Week. We never really had this little to say leading up to this bit.
No, I've got a long bit at the end, actually,
good.
So that'll catch us up.
We'll have to speak slower.
Yeah.
I brought one of my own because in the absence of anyone else submitting, I'm just going to keep getting coached by you. So it seems to be working rather well for me.
Go for it.
So here it is, how to evaluate an opportunity. And obviously there's going to be all different criteria. I've been asked to go and speak in Brisbane. Have I mentioned this before?
Yes, and you weren't sure.
I'm still not sure.
Okay.
It's an awful long way. There'll be between 100 and 500 people in the room. I have got products now that I could, knock into some sort of shape to sell from the stage after I've done my, content is not an issue for me. Content and teaching from the stage is not an issue. It's the offer that I struggle with. But this person's going to help me with that. Because, obviously there's a lot of people in the room who then want to go on and work with you. But I just can't make up my mind whether to go or not. He's even offered to front me the plane fare.
Yes. Should we do pros and cons?
Yeah.
You've already given me something I want to talk to you about, by the way. But let's just brainstorm. If you went, what would be good about it?
It'd be travel, which fulfills one of my goals for this year.
Yeah.
I get to see and work with this person who I enjoy their company enormously.
Yes.
It would introduce me to a whole room full of people who've paid to be there, so they're serious business players.
Yes. Those three are quite good, aren't they?
I'd make some money, presumably.
Yes.
Although not guaranteed, which is the bit that's holding me back.
Ah, there you go. That's the bit I've written down, actually.
Well, that's not the only bit that's holding me back. Then.
No, let's go to the cons then. What's against?
I might not make any money because traditionally I'm not very good at selling from the stage.
Yeah, that's the bit I want to address in a minute. Keep going.
It's an awful long way.
Yeah, it is.
Battle class.
Yes.
Could break the journey, but always don't really enjoy doing that.
No.
It's in June, which is when theoretically I could be coming back here to Greece.
Yes.
Any other cons?
Okay, I've got an idea. Let's do it mathematically, and then I'm going to come back to the thing. I'm reaching for my calculator.
Oh, excellent. I love
let's assume that. Yeah, hang on a minute. Where is my calculator? Let's assume the best, i.e., 500 people in the room.
Because I am battling with my own fear of disappointment here. You know that.
Yeah, I know. We'll come back to that in a minute. I've got a brilliant piece of coaching for you in a minute. But let's do maths first. Let's assume that there are 500 people in the room.
Well, I'd rather not. Let's assume there's 100.
Well, I was going to. Well, we do it both ways. We'll multiply it by 5 in the end.
Okay, all right.
What's the value of what you were proposing to sell? Ish. I know you haven't worked that out yet, but
it would have to be up in the $3,000 range.
And what would that be likely to be?
It would be likely to be a 3-month or 6 month program with full support and weekly phone calls, etc.
All right. So if there was only 100 people in the room, what sort of percentage, in your worst nightmares, might you convert? So if you make one sale of $3,000, is that worth going?
No, because I wouldn't.
What would make it worth going? 2 sales? 3?
No. It's not even about how many sales you make. It's about the fact that I wouldn't want to deliver it to that smaller group because they wouldn't turn up on calls and I'd be sitting there on my own. I'm full of negatives on this one, aren't I?
Well, those were ridiculous ones, by the way.
It isn't.
Somebody would spend money and then they wouldn't turn up.
Well, I do.
Well, who cares?
I do. Because if you take money off people, then you want them to turn up.
Why would you offer them something believing they weren't going to turn up to it?
Because in my experience, only 20% of the people take any action. So
surely not at that level. Surely not at the $3,000 level.
Honestly, I've had people pay us $10,000 and never turn up.
And do you think that even if people don't take action, you can't be of any value to them?
No, because the training would still be there.
Quite.
But it's my feelings, isn't it?
So is there something you could offer them that's make them more likely to turn up?
Well, I could offer them something that doesn't involve them turning up.
Ah, okay. Try me.
Breakthrough, yes.
Yes. What might that be?
Well, all the support is given through the membership site and the app rather than live Q&A calls.
Okay. So, but they're only going to pay $79 a month for that, aren't they?
No. This would be a special training I would create.
Okay, so still 3,000.
Yeah.
No,
I'd have to work on the sale angle of this a little bit.
That's my proviso. We're going to come back to that in a minute. Let's just go maths. What in terms of money, what would make it worth your while going?
10 people signing up.
10 people at 3,000.
Yeah.
Okay.
Only because I do feel that I won't want to do it unless there is a decent number of people participating.
Okay.
Not about the money.
So can your organizer, inviter, fronter of the cash let you know when he's passed the 500 attendees mark, and then you can make up your mind?
No, he wants to know now.
Oh, he wants it all his way, you mean?
Well, that's not all his ways. He's fronting the cash for the plane fare.
Yeah, but actually you don't know there's any point in you going all that horrible way yet.
Well, he's going to get 100 in the room at least.
But you don't want to go if there's only 100.
I don't mind, as long as 10 of them sign up. So
no, that's not what you said. You said, I don't want to go if there's only going to be not very many people in the room.
No, I didn't say that. I didn't. I said I don't want to go if I'm not going to sell anything.
All right, so let's go back to the bit that I wrote down when you said it at the beginning, and it's the nub of all of this. And actually, it's something you've said ever since I've known you, by the way. It's the offer that I struggle with, making the offer from the stage that I struggle with. What would it be like if that wasn't a struggle? Oh, funny enough, which plays directly into my word of the week. What would it be like if that wasn't a struggle?
It's not a struggle, me actually doing it. I feel perfectly confident making the offer, and I feel perfectly confident in the value of what I'm offering.
But
there's something in the way I do it that means that I don't convert as well as some of the other speakers from the stage.
All right. And
I can't do all the rah-rah NLP stuff.
So then there's no point in you going to Brisbane.
Well, there we go.
Well, I mean, that's the logical conclusion of what you said. If you feel you need to do rah-rah NLP in order to sell from the stage, what's the point of going to Brisbane?
Good point.
I don't believe you need to do that, by the way, as evidenced by our exchange of emails overnight. I think the more honest, authentic, truthful, and real and natural you are, the more attractive one is. In fact, you'd be the antidote to the rah-rah NLP. I've often signed up at conferences to the antidote to the rah-rah NLP.
Yeah. Okay.
The person that you felt
belief I've got then.
Well, that's exactly my point. That's why I wrote offer that I struggle with, and I put it in quotes, meaning she thinks that, but it's not true. You mean, if we could bust that belief, it would be worth going to Brisbane.
The thing is, if it was somewhere else that I wanted to go, I would be looking on it as...
Stop there. You don't want to go to Brisbane.
Well, I don't know anything about it. Perhaps I need to research Brisbane.
Okay, there we go. There's some actions.
Yeah.
Research Brisbane.
Because, I don't know anything about it, and I haven't got any desire to go at the moment, but perhaps it's wonderful.
I haven't got any desire to go at the moment. I don't know why we're even discussing this.
Well, because I don't know anything about Brisbane. It might be like San Diego. I had no desire to go to San Diego until I actually went and realised how wonderful it was.
Okay, all right. So there's some action. There's two actions, aren't there? Three actions, really. One is do some form of busting work on this belief.
Yeah.
Two, research whether or not Brisbane is a place that you would want to go to.
Yeah.
3, I think you need to equalise your relationship with the organiser who would pay for you to go in terms, or be honest and say, 100 people doesn't excite me. 100 people is too far to go. You wouldn't want to drive across England for 100 people.
I'll probably do the South East, love.
Well, you've often been disappointed by 100 people in a room, let me tell you that now.
Ooh, have I?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
But that's the thing when you go to speak at other people's events. You can't qualify or quantify the audience before
it
you get there. It
depends on the quality of the people attending. I wouldn't want to go to
So do you have any indication of what the quality of the people attending is?
Yeah, they're going to be good because they're paying to go. That weeds out all the.
And do you know who else is speaking and what they're offering?
No. That's another bit of research then.
And is it just a pitch fest, or is there a kind of theme?
No, it's a genuine. I think it's a 3-day event, genuine teaching, sharing lots of.
Okay, so here's my conclusion. If you discover that Brisbane is a place you want to go to, and your organiser is fronting the airfare, which presumably means he'll deduct it from sales, does it?
Yes. Yeah.
Then I would decide to go or not, simply for the crack. Because nothing else. Yeah, because nothing else is guaranteed.
No, that's very true. Do I want to go from
just for the crack?
Just for the crack. One has to wonder why Brisbane, doesn't one?
Well, I'm just trying to look. Where is it on a map? It's in Queensland.
It's up from Melbourne.
Yeah, I'm just having a look. Hang on, I've got my map out. Talk to the listeners while I'm checking out my map. Hang on.
Okay. So what would make me want to go to a city? I don't know is the answer.
Oh, I've got some thoughts for you. It is on the Sunshine between the Sunshine Coast and the Gold Coast, and just up from Byron Bay and so forth. And Noosa. Oh. You know quite a lot of people who live there.
I do. You're right.
What if you could meet up with Dan Norris and his girlfriends?
His girlfriends.
Well, he's got the 2 sisters. Do you know what I mean?
The other one's got a boyfriend now.
Okay. But what if you could meet up with the people you knew down there? What's his name? Baldy lives down there.
Oh, to Brett McFall.
Yes. What if you could meet up with the people you knew who live on the Gold Coast and the Sunshine Coast?
Yeah, that'd be great fun, wouldn't it?
Well, now we're incentivising you.
Yeah. Okay, all right. That is.
And what if you could stay a bit longer and have a nice holiday?
Well, that'd be nice too, wouldn't it?
Well, because the Sunshine Coast and the Gold Coast, we think nice water, nice.
To go there, yeah. Now we're talking.
Yeah.
Okay, you've got me all going now, Judith.
All right. Okay. Well, shall we review it again next week?
Yes, why not?
Or you'll just update us next week?
Yeah, I'll just update you on my decision next
week.
Beware
of, you've got a belief around it's the offer that I struggle with.
Yeah, there's that word again, isn't it?
Yeah, I think that we should create an offer that's no struggle and create a way of being on stage which you just know is going to lead to sales and doesn't have to compete with anybody else or be like anybody else or involve NLP or RARA.
Yeah, absolutely, because that's a bit that always makes me feel a bit uncomfortable.
Well, are all the other speakers Aussies, do you know?
I don't even know if there are any others. I think that's just me and him.
Oh, okay. Well, that's better in a way, isn't it?
Yeah, it is, yes.
And does he have any sense of what would go well in the room of the people he's in? Get him to help you.
Yes.
What's the best thing to offer that audience that doesn't conflict with whatever he's doing with them?
Yeah, I don't think... I think I know what to offer. It would be a combination of the Be Everywhere Online and the Facebook ads, because I think most of the people in the room will be Amazon, aspiring Amazon retailers.
Okay.
So I would have to.
So actually, how to be everywhere online might be helpful to them.
Well, totally, yes.
And what's the value of how to be everywhere online if you put it into a 3 to 6 month thing?
Because if you drive cold traffic to an Amazon.
No. Sorry, I meant what's the value? What's the price? Is what I meant of the thing that you how to be everywhere online offering that suits that audience that makes it worth your while going to Brisbane.
Well, because there's no point in having an Amazon store if you can't drive any traffic to it.
Yeah, I get that. Yeah. You're still not answering my question.
I'm not understanding your question. That's
Okay. All right, never mind.
Have you noticed how this isn't dropping out today?
Yes. Well, don't draw attention to it. Let's just go on. I think you can narrow all of this down. It was all a bit woolly to begin with, wasn't it? We don't really know what Brisbane's like. We don't really know what how you could make the best of being in that part of Australia. We don't really know what would go really well in that room. But the fact that you're the only speaker means you don't have to do NLP rah-rah because you're not competing with anyone.
That's true.
You just be yourself, and actually have the Brit factor going for you.
That's true. Yeah, there's quite a lot going for it, isn't there?
Yeah, there is a lot going for it. And I think what we want to do is take out all of the anxiety and unpleasantness and struggle and take out all the neg words and just make it for the crack.
And also, there's no guarantee that the house I'm going to be renting will be available at the beginning of June because their building work might go on for a week or two afterwards. So if I could do 3 weeks in Australia, that would solve that problem.
Oh, there you go. Who can you visit on that side? Once you get up that map like I did in a minute, you'll see who you know that lives down that side.
And there's always Sydney, isn't there? So
it's a little bit further, quite a long way from
north. But you'd probably have to change in Sydney, wouldn't you?
No, I don't think you would.
You can fly straight to Brisbane.
Yes, I bet you can. It's a decent-sized city, Nicola.
What, from the UK?
Well, do you want me to Google it for you now, or will you do that yourself later?
I think there's filling time and there's filling time.
It's not a dot, darling. It's not a dot. It's a decent-sized city. I bet you could fly there direct.
It's not a village. It's not a place like that in that.
No, it's not.
Maker.
No, it's not.
I won't be going to some dust bowl in Central Australia.
No, you won't. No, it's a thriving city.
You may have gathered I dropped out of geography in the third year.
Yes.
I work on a need-to-know basis now. Okay, so that's good. So let's just recap on what we've learned on how to evaluate opportunities.
Yes, what a good idea.
Yeah. Get very specific about the pros and cons.
Yes.
Get very clear about what the cons are. Do you remember Mark Forster, who used to say, "What's your anti-goal around this?" I used to find that very useful. Anti-goals are the things that are lurking about behind the idea of being successful at something. If you can work out, remember I used to say about travelling, I only want to travel if I can do it first class with company.
Well,
that was what was holding
interesting, and that's not being offered in this one. By the way.
No, but it's what used to hold me back from speaking more was that I had this perception that if you go speaking, you sit in hotel rooms on your own all the time,
right? And
travel in sleaze rather.
It is true you do hallucinate a lot of weirdness.
I didn't hallucinate that bloody multi-legged caterpillar on my bedroom wall last night, I tell you.
No. But he's not going to bite you or anything. He's barely even going to wave at you, is he?
No, they have got a bit of a nip, apparently. And they move quite fast, too, I discovered.
Yeah.
Anyway, moving on. So, yes, get very clear about...
Get very clear about pros and cons and, if applicable, anti-goals. Why am I not doing this?
Yeah, what's...
look at all of that messy emotional stuff about, that isn't actually true. Oh, yes, is that true? It's a Byron Katie question. Is that true? Is that absolutely true? So, I struggle. Do you struggle, or you just made that up, or it just keeps floating to the surface, or whatever it is? I would do some maths. What's the best result I could hope to get? What's the minimum result? And if I make no sales at all, is it worth it for the crack? Yesterday I was talking to a client who we talk a lot about what work's worth doing and how to get better paying clients, but she always has a lot of what I call invisible wins, which is not only does the work. She's a perfectionist, so she works longer and harder than she needs to for the fee. But the invisible wins are their profile raising, and she meets people, and other offers come from it, and her reputation is increased, and she learns new skills. All of those invisible wins can be evaluated, and if they're positive ones, if they're things you want to learn, if you want to raise your profile and be more highly regarded and learn new skills, then something's worth doing over and above just for the fee, if that makes sense.
Yeah, you just said something that just struck dread into my heart again, which is, what if I don't sell any? Then I'm, £1,000 in the hole, aren't I? Which I
£1,000 for what? For repaying the flight?
Yeah.
Yeah, so I would try and work out, what can I offer this room that's complementary to what they're there learning, that doesn't conflict with what himself is offering, and that will guarantee me to make my costs back. So it might not be something at 3,000. It might be that you sell a lot more at a lower price, and it might not be about price at all.
No, it's never about price, is it?
Well, I don't know, actually. If they spend a lot of money to get there, and himself has already charged them a lot for whatever he's doing with them, they might be loath to pay out more. It might be something I'd be co-crafting with him, because if you're, I agree, your How to Be Everywhere Online that drives traffic to their Amazon site is a good match. And maybe he can help you by, not in the offer, but if he knows what the offer is, and he's an advocate for the offer, which is why he's brought you there, and he says how it adds value to what he's teaching them, then you're more likely to make sales.
Yeah, that's very true. Okay, all right, that's good. I will find out all those other things and report back next week. Yeah,
facts and figures, and the removal of the busting of the neg stuff that isn't actually true.
Yeah, and the removal of the vagueness. That's another thing that's come out, isn't it? Is finding out more, rather than trying to make a decision on not very much information, get more information before you make the decision.
Yeah, and never assume.
Yeah, and think about how else you could enjoy it.
Yes.
As opposed to just, the whole...
Yes. I think you might find when you listen to this back when you're editing it and you hear what you've said, I think you might find there are more answers in it. I quite often, when I listen to our recording, you know, I nag you so I can listen to it. And I listen to it to make sure it's suitable for public consumption before it goes out. I'm always quite amazed sometimes because I don't remember what we said, because in the act of talking, it's not the same as listening and hearing it back and understanding what's been said. I think if you listen to this bit again when you're editing it, you'll learn some things about yourself from what you said.
Yeah, sort of scaredy cat I am about everything.
Well, no, it's not that really. It's not that really. You said things, well, I can't actually remember what they are, but I can remember you saying some one really powerful thing, and I remember thinking, well, where's she going then? You'll hear yourself. Hearing yourself say stuff is quite powerful.
Yeah. Good. Marvellous. Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Let's ask you one question. On a scale of 1 to 10, how likely are you to go now?
About 6 or 7.
Okay, so it's up a bit. So it's up a bit, isn't it?
Yeah, definitely.
And let's see what happens when you've thought about it a bit.
Yeah, absolutely. May I just thank you for these personal yet private coaching sessions we have?
It's lovely that we've got something to get our teeth into. You see, this is what I always say. I have to talk to the client. This is why when people send us in our challenges on our Facebook pages, I say, can you tell us more meat so we can understand what the challenge is? You don't really know what it is until it comes out of somebody's mouth.
Yeah, we're waiting for some more meat from...
well, Alice has offered us one, and I said, yes, let's tell us some more about it.
Yeah, Alice, come on, tell us some more about it.
Yeah, she's got a very busy week, so Alice, don't tell us some more about it this week. Tell us some more about it next week.
Yeah, all right. Well, I've put something in the high-performing women group as well to see if anyone's got any in there.
Okay.
Word of the week, then.
Well, mine was surrender. I've got relax and roll with it, don't fight everything, which is funnily enough sort of in keeping with what we just said, isn't it?
Say some more.
Yeah, don't fight everything. Everything doesn't have to be a struggle is what I'm feeling about life. You know, just some relax and roll with things. Somebody said, what did somebody say to me? I'm not sure whether I should go on holiday because something. I know, it's my friend Emma who does this yacht marshalling in Antigua. I don't think I'll go to Antigua this year.
What?
Exactly. I said, well, why on earth not? And actually, then I got her to do the pros and cons in an email over the weekend, and it came back, last year there wasn't anywhere for me to stay, so I had to stay on a safer bed outside and get eaten alive by mosquitoes. So I went, okay, enough. If there's no accommodation, I wouldn't be going to be eaten alive by mosquitoes. And the person, my boss, wasn't very nice to me. Oh, okay. You know, she convinced me why you wouldn't go to Antigua. I think that pros and but my first reaction was, life is short, grab the opportunity to go to Antigua.
Yeah,
or I don't think she's going to go, to be honest. I think it's outlived its usefulness. It's not she's been for many, many years, year on year, and it's become less and less comfortable and more the old version of her. But you know, my first thought was Antigua, Brisbane, relax, surrender, go with it. But actually, if it's going to be uncomfortable, a client emailed this morning to say she'd had to have 5 blankets on the bed and they'd only had white rice and white bread to eat. It's like, oh God, no. You know, some things aren't idyllic. Wherever, you know, however glamorous the place is, that it sounds like it is where you are. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, white bread is a deal breaker unless it's very tasty.
White bread, white rice, and white something else, she said. Not enough fruit and vegetables and 5 blankets because I was so cold. Oh my God. But actually, that I would have just did what she did, which is to check into the nearest, you know, move basically.
Yeah.
But no, sometimes I think there's a lot of psychology that goes on, pop psychology that goes on Facebook, which is, you know, if it's going to be, it's down to me, and it's like everything is a bloody battle all the time. My word this week is surrender, relax and roll with it. Don't fight everything.
Okie dokes.
Don't fight everything. Pick your battles.
Yeah, pick your battles. That's always good. I used to do that with the children.
Yeah, exactly.
Definitely pick my battles with them. My word is anticipation.
There's a good Carly Simon song for that.
Have you? Excellent. Yeah. Hopefully you'll share it on the show notes then.
I will. Not on the show notes. I'll put it in our group.
Oh my God! You've got. Are you watching Prime Suspect 1972?
No, I commented on your thing this morning. Sue and Nicola at my beauticians told me they were going to have a bit of a fest of it. I don't think I want to see something pre-Helen Mirren because she's so great at it.
She's so good though. She really could be a young Helen Mirren.
Yeah, if it wasn't, I've got so much. I'm 5 seasons into 7 of Californication. I don't think I can afford to be distracted towards something I don't particularly want to watch.
Music they're using as background.
Oh, I love these programs where they give us period music, don't you?
Yeah, it really is. It's pre Elton John. It's sort of Procol Harum and
yes. Yes. And on the Pottery Throwdown, which I know you don't watch, we get Booker T and the MGs and all sorts of lovely period stuff. It's great. Go.
Another little aside: are you watching the hotel, the Mandarin Oriental Hotel? Behind the scenes of that, it's a Hyde Park. It's what used to be called the Hyde Park Hotel, and it's now the Mandarin Oriental.
I know the very hotel you mean, but now I'm not watching a program.
Well, it's brilliant, and they were all standing to attention for a VIP. I mean, they'd had various, minor royalty coming in and out, and rock stars and things, and they'd had a princess from the Far East, and anyway, big deal. It's a VIP coming downstairs. Everyone standing to attention. Everybody wants to see them. Everybody is really excited. It was Quincy Jones. I just thought how marvellous that they all think he's, such a VIP, and he was such a sweet old man now. Such a shame that he's so old, but, there you go. They all thought he was fantastic.
Go back to anticipation. Why is that word of the week?
Well, because there's lots of good telly. No, because I'm anticipating the next year, and I'm getting more excited about it as I come out of my slump, as it were. So there you go.
Yeah.
Project updates, right? Yep. My turn. No idea about push thingy because I haven't looked. Totally forgot about that one. And but I have looked at Libsyn. We are on target to match February on our March downloads. Our 10-day downloads are down slightly on a very gentle slope. Doesn't mean anything, I suppose, 10 days. 1 month is up. 1 month downloads is up strongly, which is good. Well, 3 months down is down slightly, but that spike in January is still screwing us up a bit. We've had a mini spike on the 10th of March. We had a mini spike of 183 downloads in 1 day, which is double our usual download number. So I don't know what happened on the 10th. What day was that of the week?
10th of March.
Yeah, 10th of March.
I think it was last Friday, wasn't it?
Oh, good. So it's last.
It was a show day. Yes, it was a day we went live. Yeah.
Okay. Well, our 10,000 hours of fascination title got their attention and doubled the downloads.
Okay.
So yes, my usual appeal to the listeners: if you could share the podcast with just one person, that'd be enormously helpful. And all reviews are welcome as we're climbing infinitesimally slowly.
Yeah. Well, I think I don't think we're as high as we're going to go. That's not what I think. I think we're up in the seriously good stuff, and because it's all seriously good, that's enough.
Oh, just being listed is enough for me. God, in the top 100, it's fantastic. Okay, any other thoughts about the podcast?
No, I saw we got Dan Norris was asking about good podcasts for women, and Sarah mentioned us in there, which was quite handy.
Really? Thank you so much. I didn't want to push us forward on that one.
No, you're Sarah's sister Sarah.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, but acting as your agent, which was good.
She's behind me right now, so thank you, Sarah. That's good. I suppose at some point we ought to get proactive with sponsorship. And think
I've got rather too much on my plate at the moment. I think you have too, haven't you? Maybe we'll come back to that in a couple of months, post-Brisbane.
Yeah, why not? When I get back from Brisbane.
Yeah. Well, because you've got a lot of moving around to do in the next couple of months. You've got to come back here and then you've got to go over there. And
it's ever so easy now. There were 2 suitcases and nothing else.
Well, yeah, but it's still logistical. Yeah, it is.
Yeah, okay. Got it.
It's not sitting at desk.
No. Who or what's impressed?
You're going to go first?
I could, because I'm quick.
Okay.
Just all this whole transcription business, because I needed something doing that day to get into the membership area for Module 2. I was casting about, first of all, if you want to get captions on your Facebook Live videos, or any of your Facebook videos, in fact, the easiest way to do it is to download your video, upload it to YouTube, either transcribe it yourself or get it transcribed and drop the transcription in as in the caption section in YouTube, and then you can just press a little button and it'll put timings on it, so it'll whiz through and it'll work out at what point you said what and put the timings in, and then I know you won't understand any of this, Judith, so just talk amongst yourself for a minute, and then you download it as an STT file and you can upload it to Facebook, and it captions your Facebook videos as well as your YouTube ones. So that's a tip for that. It was quite easy once I figured out how to do it. With regard to transcriptions, rev.com, obviously, very fast turnaround, very good quality, $1 a minute. Then there's a new kid on the block, which is Trint, Trint, where you upload your video or audio. It does a first draft for you, and you edit it yourself on the fly. And that's what YouTube used to do, but doesn't do anymore. And that's about 18p a minute. It's priced in euros. So it's 18p a minute. So it's a lot cheaper than Rev, but you do have to do the final edit yourself.
18 cents a minute then, if it's priced in euros.
Oh, okay then. All right. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know. Have you converted the euros into pound sterling?
No.
Okay. Euros is cent.
Oh, okay then.
Yep.
So, so much cheaper, Trint.com, Trint.
Okay, good tip.
That's my who or what's impressed.
Okay, so I'm going to tell you the story about a man I met last weekend who's Romanian. I don't know where Romania is, actually. It's over in the far side of Europe somewhere. But I think he would qualify as what is known in the popular press as a migrant. But before he found his way to the UK, he had worked in and lived in for quite a number of years, Greece, Italy, Germany and France, and can speak all of those languages.
Wow.
And we did something together, and when we both got to our ultimate destination, he couldn't wait to leap out of his vehicle and come over and light up a fag and have a conversation with me. He's a communicating type of a human being that likes to converse with other people, and he could have done that with me in, well, Romanian, Greek, Italian, German, French, as well as English. And he's probably 40. He's worked in the construction industry and he's worked in accounting. But he reminded me that if you've been born and bred and brought up in a country like England, let's say, where I've lived all of my life, and I've always had a roof over my head and I've always had food in my belly and never had to worry about either of those, you don't know that you are born. Yeah. And what he told me was there is nothing more motivating to learn the language and find a job than to put a roof over your head and food in your belly and for your wife and your son. And he told me that at the end of the day, and he's working in construction loosely in the UK, you know, when he goes home and lets himself into that safe home where his wife and family are waiting for him, that's what he does it all for. And I was just so impressed. I've written down here grafter. You know, I love a grafter. I'm just so impressed by people whose start in life was less auspicious, but who knock spots off the lazy rump, if you know what I mean by that. Yeah. And then I saw a quote yesterday on Facebook by the man who is rapidly becoming my favourite on the podcast, Mark Twain. And it said, principles have no real force except when one is well fed. And I think he's trying to say the same thing, which is, you know, if all your needs are met, it's easy to be principled. But his life has been tough for him in a way that I have never known. And he's done it with a wife and child as well, and he's fluent in all these languages, and he's not afraid of hard work, and he wants more work. And, you know, it's just an eye-opener, isn't it, to meet somebody, you know, that's actually what the Daily Mail would call a migrant, and they would call it that in a disparaging term. But the reality is anything but. Yeah.
Do you follow Chris Barrow's Stories of Taxi Drivers?
I do a bit, yes. Yeah. I follow Chris Barrow, and he's quite prodigious. It's difficult to keep up with all of his output, isn't it? Yeah,
he's got a recurring theme about the taxi drivers that ferry him.
Yes.
Tells their stories. But like
invariably, they are grafters as well, aren't they?
Yeah. And it contrasts quite a lot with the conversation that I've been participating in one of Dan's mastermind groups, is that, you know, that someone's finding it really difficult to find a business development manager, no matter how well recompensed.
Yes.
Because, and I assumed, erroneously it turns out, that this company were not giving them leads. They were just expected to come in and find their own leads, which, to be honest, I could do standing on my head. From a standing start in a new company. But no, this company is feeding this person leads and they're still not making any sales because they just do not get off their arse and go and network, talk, have conversations. You know, and yes. I was astonished. I mean, feeding them leads and they're still not making sales.
Well, I have a client who's got a very lovely business, and all we've talked about for 2 years is the endless search and optimism and disappointment about the staff that are hired and then fired.
Yeah. Yeah, I said I passed on the wisdom of a wily ex-employer of mine, which was hire a failed entrepreneur between gigs. You'll get more out of them in 18 months than you would out of an employee in 10 years.
Well, we just want grafters, really, who don't take anything for granted.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the Maslow's hierarchy of needs, isn't it? You can't attend to principles until you've got your roof over.
Well, I think he was saying in England you don't know you're born because you've got such a robust safety net with the NHS and social services.
Yeah. Good stuff. Okay, so that is us for this week.
Yeah.
And I will see you same time, same place next week.
Over and out. See you next week. Yeah. Bye.
You've been listening to Nicola Cairncross and Judith Morgan. The podcast is called Own It, Your Business and Your Life. Do come and visit us at ownitthepodcast.com. We'd love to hear your feedback. You can find out more about Judith and visit her on her website at judithmorgan.com, and you can find Nicola at nicolacairncross.com.